Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisco Gaming, and in today's Whiteout Survival video, I've got drama for you. And I was not expecting there to be tons of drama when we went to take this fortress, but next thing you know, I got some guy telling me to pine his bolt. That's how it translated, which probably means what you think it means. So what happens next is just absolute cinema. Stick around because I'm going to show you the conversations, and they were insane. Now, for those of you just tuning into my channel, and you're like, who the hell is this Chisco guy? I started playing Whiteout Survival not even like a week ago at this point, which is kind of crazy. I've been wailing on this account and having a lot of fun, and we have built up the #1 alliance by power in our server. We also have the #5 alliance by power in our server, and we have a nap 10, very standard in this genre, but specifically this game is a situation where there's a non-aggression pact between the top 10 alliances by power. Now, going into the fortress battle, which if you're new to the game, you might not know what this is, you don't have to be connected to these things, but you battle for them. There's really good rewards. What's in them sort of changes, like what reward is in each fortress. There's different rewards. Anyways, you go and you take one of these things. You don't have to be connected to the land. You sort of port over, you fight for it, hold it for a bit, GG easy, okay? But everybody in the nap 10 chat went in and declared which fortress they were going to do. So we declared, we're taking this one. Cool. Easy peasy. Should have been no fighting. Should have honestly been pretty boring. But instead, one of the other alliances that's in the top 10 by power, and that was these guys over here, RUS, they poured a couple people over and they tried to take the thing before us. So next thing you know, people's cities are getting hit. Our cities are getting hit. And I say, hey, I'm in voice with like a bunch of people. I'm like, hey, like, we got to go to war. Like, they're hitting our cities. Like, what are we talking about? Right? Like, as a leader of a group, I can't just let that happen. Right? And so we go to war. Now, while our alliance members are all fighting, okay, I go to war in the chats. And so I take this to conversations, and the conversation blew my mind. I could not have anticipated that this is what would happen. And so I'm just going to show it to you because it was so insane. Okay. So I said, you've made a mistake attacking our alliance. We will not stop until you yield. It would be best if you yield quickly so we can move on. So the point of this message is basically like, hey, I don't care how this started. It doesn't matter anymore. This is happening. All right. You're doing it. We're doing it. Let's end it is what I'm trying to say. Okay. And he says, pine my bolt, which I'm pretty sure is SMD, which I'm pretty sure you know what that is, all right? And I say, that did not translate correctly. Please try again. And he says, and your first began. So already I know this is going to be a problem because, like, you did it first is something like my kid would say about something that happened. Like, she started it. It's like, bro, keep up with me. Okay, it doesn't matter how it started when it's happening. What I just did is I said, let's end it. You need to stop. Okay, because we're not going to stop because you're hitting us. So what my message said is, you yield, everything stops. So if you understand what I said there, there's like a very clear path that's like, oh, okay, let's just stop. And then immediately it's over. Okay, so then I say, we're in nap 10 chat. We declared for this fortress. Your alliance needs to be in nap 10, which they are, like, in the top 10 alliances by power. They're supposed to be in this chat. I think they were invited, but didn't join, or like, I'm not sure what the deal is. Okay. They're in there now, but oh my God. He says, this is Fortress 8. So maybe there's a translation issue, doesn't know what the NAP acronym stands for, non-aggression pact. Maybe it's not translating. Okay. So I say, we declared Fortress 8 in the official nap 10 chat. He says, you understand that I do not have to read your chat. So everyone who wants to be a part of nap 10 has to be in the chat. It's been in world chat that like this is a thing. So if you like missed it in world chat and all your members missed it in world chat and like you're out of the picture, like, I don't know. I don't know how to help here. And I just say, I refocus the conversation to what actually matters here. The one and only thing is that we're at war right now. You should stop. So I say, you should surrender. We overpower you. And he says, star, 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 let's see here, you. Right, star, 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 you. So I can only assume this means he's basically giving me the middle finger at this point. So he's told me so far to pine his bolt, you did it first, and go after yourself. And so we go on here. I assume, who knows? It's star, star, star. The game decided I shouldn't see it, which means it's probably pretty aggressive. So I say, if you surrender, we will stop attacking you. And he says attack. So at this point, I know that the conventional wisdom is like, well, let's do the forensics to figure out who attacked first. And, but nobody cares. This is the one and only thing that matters from this moment forward is I have now repeatedly offered to de-escalate the situation. And he says, just keep going. He says, just keep going. Now, at this point, we hadn't zeroed all their players yet, but it's about to happen. And so I say, you really think being at war with us is a good idea? What does he say? Do you think you are a god? The funny thing is that he's acting as though I have an ego, but this displays that he's got the ego. All he has to do is say, sure, we yield. Instead, he says, bring down from heaven. And so we brought it down from heaven. The fires that honestly light our furnaces to this day. Because we burned so many cities. Bro, we don't need to put coal in our furnaces for the rest of time. Oh my gosh. And I say, you're the only one here with an attitude problem. I'm being logical and respectful. Let me know when you're ready for everyone to move on. So now for the third or the fourth time, I'm like, it's on you, bro. Just say the word and we stop. And instead of saying the word, he said, here are the first ones from call the troops in the second. What are the rules? So for the fourth or fifth time now, I say, for the sake of your people, just surrender and I will call off the attack. And he says, no. Absolute cinema. You just cannot make this up. Your position is selfish and you bring ruin to your people. I tried to help you here. And he says, write me the time who attacked and when. You did it first. Bro, let me just reiterate this because I feel like not everybody gets this. But once you're in the fight, how it started is actually it matters for external optics only. But if we were still fighting them and they said, please stop, and we're still fighting, that's a bad look. Okay, that's bad. But if we're we would like to stop, but you need to agree to stop, and he keeps saying, no, 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 then all the consequences are on them at that point, right? If I've 6 times now said, we will stop, just say the word, and he's like, no, 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 literally no, then we have to keep going. If he's saying, we're going to keep waging war with you, then we have to defend. I'm not just going to sit there and let them pick off our weakest members. You're about to get absolutely boom roasted. And he's still focused on who did it first. First or not doesn't matter anymore. How it ends is all that matters when one side is offering or requesting peace, right? I am offering it. They could have sued for peace. I'm requesting peace. Okay. And they're just like, no. So fine. You're not going to stop. We won't stop. And I said, we can argue about how it started, but all that matters is how it ends. Think long-term here. This is unwise. Surrender. And a part of what I've learned in this genre for 6 years is to speak really clearly. I feel like I've been very clear here. And he says, time, please. So he's still obsessed with who did it first. And I said, that did not translate correctly because this is so irrelevant to the conversation. Nobody cares. And he said, I attacked. So write for your words. You have to answer time, please. And I say, what does that mean? So at that exact moment, I couldn't figure it out, but I think he's saying still all he cares about is who started it, which once it's happening and one side is offering peace, all that matters now is how it ends, right? And if there's any question as to who acted in bad faith, obviously we're not acting in bad faith because now the entire time I've offered peace and he's just rejected it. He's also told me to pine his bull. Did I attack? So you write me, you have to answer for your words. I said, you attacked the fortress that we scheduled in the NAP 10 and diplomacy chat. And the other context is once our city started getting hit, that's when I said, fine, we go for it. He says, if I attacked, write me the time. He says, okay, if you think that I'm going to sit and watch the chat every time and figure out who's going to attack which fort, you're just being selfish. And actually I would argue the opposite is true. All the other NAP 10 leaders did it. So you're the only one who couldn't figure it out, respectfully. Even I did it. I have a YouTube channel, respectfully, right? I have a YouTube channel, 250,000 subscribers. I'm a busy man. Okay. And that's not to say that I'm above the law. In fact, even I followed the rules and did the things that all the other leaders did. So, like, I am, quite literally not above the rules. Even though we're the strongest by power, like, we could throw that weight around. Like, anyways, it's just like, oh my God. I said it's in the Nap 10 chat. Every other leader agreed to watch the chat except you, apparently. So I don't know. He like wasn't in there. I think someone said in that chat that like they had invited him, but he didn't join it or something. I don't know, man. I said, you're the only leader who failed to follow the rules that every other alliance had no problem following, which is like, it's where it's at. This was the only fortress that had an issue, quite literally. The literal only one. And he says, no one wrote me in a personal and told me that there was some kind of chat. So he doesn't think that he knew about it. Someone else, I think, said that they did. Either way, it's like this is not a great situation. I said, dude, just agree to end this and I'll call off the attack. So while all of his allies, all the members of his alliance are getting lit up, he's having this irrelevant side conversation. So I do for him the thing that I think he should do for himself, which is to be like, dude, let's just end it, please. I'm practically begging him to stop, which is hilarious because we overpower them by a lot. I don't know if I actually showed their power. They're like 100 million and we're like 500 million. It's like, maybe they're 150. I don't know. I'll pull it up in a minute here. And he says, no one invited me to the chat. I didn't even know there was one. Other leaders write me and tell me that you have a chat. You're lying to yourself. And I said, let me know when you're ready to surrender. It's not a big deal to do so. We all move on with life. Best for everyone. So now like the 10th time in this conversation, not that I'm actually keeping track, I've said like, let's just end it. And he says, give me a report. All right. And so the only reason it stopped is because literally all their cities were lit up and there was nothing else to do. And so we went back to our hive and it was just over. It's just over at that point. Right now, at this point, he also joined the Nap 10 chat. People trying to talk to the dude and talk sense into him. But the moment I shared the Pine My Bolt start to the conversation, some of the other leaders in Nap 10 chat were like, all right, well, whatever happens, happens. It's on them now. And like, that's the right understanding of reality, right? Like, okay, it started. Who started it is a relevant conversation when the two sides are still fighting and a third party is trying to mediate to break it down and like end it. But that's like not what needs to even happen at all, because I repeatedly said, let me end it for you. Just say the word. We'll stop. No problem. I even said it's not a big deal. Anyways, I've really enjoyed my time in Whiteout Survival so far. I'm actually having a blast. And, look, I've had not many opportunities to say that a certain situation is absolute cinema, but I would say this really panned out in exactly that way. And like, I make mistakes, no doubt, but I've been doing this for a long time. In fact, I make my mistakes publicly because I'm like YouTubing. So like, you'll see all the stupid stuff I do, It's like, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I do dumb stuff all the time. But this is the sort of situation that like years of practice has equipped me to handle. And like, I don't know, man, there's certain archetypes of personalities, like the overly confident leader who doesn't understand the trouble they've gotten themselves into is like, yeah, we've seen this before. But anyways, I think we're all good now. And I hope we don't have any of these sorts of problems moving forward. And I do think some amount of warring is actually very good practice for the people of the sort of kingdom. So like if we're all singing Kumbaya until our first SVS, nobody's going to know how to play the game. And like, I do think a lot of people, unfortunately, don't seek out like information about how to be better at the game. I make a YouTube channel and you're here because like either you're in it for the popcorn of this drama or, you like want to get better at playing the game. And like, yeah, I know I have a new account. Like I don't have the best advice in the world just yet. Okay. Like what am I? 14 million power. Like I'm a weekend. Not even. I'm doing great. All right. And I have whaled. But like the point I'm trying to make is if we don't have some amount of real practice for like what comes next, we won't be ready. So this was some practice and some people found out, and like, it's a lot easier to find out now when the consequences are a lot lower than later on when like the consequences only get greater, man. GG's. So if you enjoyed the vid, throw a like on here, subscribe to the channel. I intend to make very regular Whiteout Survival videos. I can't promise they'll be daily, but if you all make this channel popular enough, then like, yeah, sure. Bet. We'll do what works. And you all have been blowing up my early videos. I appreciate you. If you want to see how we got started, okay, the live stream that started it all the card in the end screen, that was on my other channel. Okay. And the Whiteout Survival videos are going to be on this channel though. And I'll put another video in there for you if you want to check it out. It's going to be my sort of summary of day one and like the things I learned and like, you may want to check it out, man. You tell me the things I did wrong. One of the things I can't believe I didn't understand is like, bro, this is God tier. Double time is God tier. But whatever, I'm getting ahead of myself. Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Glad everything's patched up. But GG's, y'all. What a situation. Oh my God.